Hi fishermen, I'm Chris, and I'm from Walleye 101 and WalleyeKid. And today in this how-to video, I'll be teaching you how to tie your very own crawler harness. A crawler harness is a versatile tool that can be used in the spring, summer, and fall throughout the entire water column. Tying your own can be fun and it's easy to do. And many people have caught their largest walleye, like me, on a crawler harness that they tied themselves. Okay, let's get started with today's how-to video. We're going to take you step by step through the process of tying your very own crawler harness.
If you're learning to tie a crawler harness for the first time, it's really important to get all your components organized and laid out in front of you. You're going to need 6 feet of 20-pound fluorocarbon line. You're going to need a black number 2 octopus hook, a red number 2 octopus hook, a number 2 clevis with a keeper, a number 7 crane swivel, a number 6 Colorado blade, 8 6mm beads, those colors will depend on the pattern that you're going to tie, and a nail clipper to get your harness cut to the right length. The first step to tying your crawler harness is to take your number 2 black octopus hook and your 20-pound fluorocarbon line. You're actually going to push that line through the eye of the hook, and you're going to extend it about 1 inch past the back of the hook. Next step's a little bit tricky if you haven't done it before. You want to grab the line right at the shank of the hook, and you're actually going to take and start twisting that line, wrapping it around the shank of the hook. We like to wrap ours 9 or 10 times. You just want to make sure you do it nice and slow, and that each time you wrap the line around the hook, it's tight up against the previous wrap that went around the shank of that hook. Once you have all 10 of those done, next step is pretty simple. You're going to grab the line right at the very bottom of all those wraps to make sure it doesn't come unwound. Once you have that line firmly in your hand, you're going to grab the end of the line and you're going to push it again back through the eye of the hook. It'll be a little tricky once in a while getting it through that eye, but you'll figure it out. Once you do that, you're going to slowly pull the line through. You don't want a bunch of twists in the line. You want it to come through that eye of that hook nice and smoothly. And then once you're all the way through near the end, you'll slow down and you'll just pull that nice and snug. And then what will happen is, actually, as you pull that line more and more, that snelled hook actually gets tighter and tighter. There's no danger of that snell ever coming out. And the last step of this process is you'll grab your clippers and you'll clip off the line just a little bit behind the end of that wrap that you just put on the hook. Once you have your black octopus hook on the line, you're going to thread your red octopus hook on the line. That's going to become your front hook. Then you're going to need to determine how big of a gap you want between the back hook and the front red hook. Somewhere around 3 to 4 inches is probably about right. We made a template so we can make ours exactly the same every single time. One thing you want to make sure of is once that red hook's on the line and you got your gap determined, you want to make sure that both of those hooks are facing the exact same way. In this case, they're both facing up. You want them nice and straight and in line. Once you have that, you're going to snell the red front hook exactly the same as you snelled that black back hook. You're going to wrap it 10 times. Once you've got your wrap done, you're going to hold that line and you're going to pull the line back through the eye. Now you've got a hook that's perfectly snelled on the front and the back. They're in line, they're nice and straight, they're going to run great right through the water. No problems, your crawler won't be spinning. It'll look really nice for those fish. Now that you've got your hook snelled properly, this is really the fun part, creating the crawler harness that the fish are going to be attracted to. In this case, we already have a pattern that we've used in the past. It's a Walleye 101 Signature Series Blackberry harness. So we've taken out the beads that we need to tie that exact same pattern. You're just going to string those 6mm beads on there. It's real nice and easy. Once you've got those on, the next step is to bring your number 2 clevis onto the line. You just want to make sure that the opening for the clevis is pointing up. That's the most important part. And once you have that, that'll allow your blade to snap on there exactly how it needs to run. Might need to put a little bit of pressure on there in order to get that blade snapped on. Once you've got that, your harness is nice and lined up with that clevis, and you're going to bring in your top bead, string that through the line, and you should be all set with your blade, beads, and your clevis. Now some folks don't run a bead on the top of that clevis. We happen to like it up there. It's really up to you, personal preference on whether or not you want that 8th bead there on top of the clevis. The final step in tying your crawler harness is to put the swivel at the end of the line. It's pretty easy to do. You're going to tie a basic Palomar knot. You're just going to make a loop in your line about 5 or 6 inches in length. You're going to push that loop through your number 7 crane swivel. You're going to do an overhand knot where you've got a loop, and then you're going to take and push that swivel through the loop. You can look on our website and learn how to tie a Palomar knot, but it's pretty basic. You're going to pull that tight, and once you pull that tight, you're going to clip off the end of it. You've got a great knot that is not going to come out.
Okay.
So there you have it, a Walleye 101 Signature Series Blackberry crawler harness. A couple different options available to you. You can buy the components yourself on our website, walleye101.com, or you can buy finished crawler harnesses as well. We have a variety of colors, both Colorado and willow blades, and either way, whether you want to tie your own or whether you want to buy some finished products, our Walleye 101 Signature Series harnesses are a great weapon for you to have in your boat when you're out walleye fishing on the open water.